So, today I'm going to share with you the four horsemen of the relationship apocalypse. So, this is a term which was coined by Dr. Gottman, the four horsemen of the apocalypse, which is a metaphor for expressing communication styles which lead to demise of relationships. So, it's very important to understand these four horsemen because once you are able to identify that in your conflict discussions, where are you using them, only then can you change them and replace them with better means and healthier communication styles. So, the first one and the most important horseman is criticism. So, criticism is something which we all have either been a recipient of or have given to other people. So, we all are very familiar with criticism, and nobody feels good when they're criticized. So, how do we use this in a relationship? So, there are different ways of communicating the same thing. So, for example, if there's something that you do not like that your partner does, for example, that they are going to be late for somewhere and they do not inform you. So, the first way in which we criticize would be that you were late and you did not inform me. You always do this. You don't think about me. You never know that I could be worried. You're very selfish. So, this is how we use criticism in a relationship. So, criticism is basically an attack on the entire character of our partner. It completely, goes to the core of their being. So, that is what criticism is. How can we use the same situation and communicate in a better way? So, another way is the complaining mode. So, in the complaint, it is slightly better than criticism, where you just state the fact that I did not like that you were late and you did not inform me. So there was no accumulation of judgments and adjectives. So that is the complaint. An even better way of sharing that or expressing in that situation is by just expressing your dissatisfaction and adding an emotion to it. So in that situation, you'll say that I was worried that when you were late and you did not inform me. So please ensure you do that in future. So when you add a feeling to it, so it no more feels like an attack on the other person, but there's empathy and compassion which steps inside. So that is why expressing dissatisfaction or complaint is way better than criticism. Because criticism starts completely eating a relationship from the bottom up. And it starts making the relationship very hollow from inside. And criticism is one of the first things when we keep doing it repeatedly in a relationship, it moves on to some of the bigger things like the second horseman, which is the contempt. So contempt is even more aggravating than criticism. So contempt happens when a partner assumes moral superiority over the other person and treats them in a mean manner, treats them with disrespect, ridicule, like they're not good enough, not as good as they are, and in all the ways that they portray themselves to be superior to the others. So this creates a lot of unhappiness and dissatisfaction in the relationship because this goes way beyond criticism. In this, you're not just attacking your partner's character, but you're assuming that you're way superior to them. So one small example of this could be when a partner is constantly trying to teach things to the other person, feeling that the other person doesn't know anything and I have to show them how it's done. I have to show them better ways of doing things. I need to teach them. So that is where contempt creates an imbalance in a relationship where one feels really superior and the other starts feeling very inferior and feels that their whole identity, self-esteem is being threatened. So that is contempt. And contempt has been found to be one of the biggest cause of divorce in relationships. And in order to overcome contempt, the antidote to contempt is to start appreciating each other, to start looking for the good things in the other person, because nobody is perfect and nobody is hopeless. Everyone has good traits, everyone has bad traits, when you constantly keep focusing on the negative things about a person, you keep seeing the same things, you keep criticizing the same things, and the whole cycle continues. When you switch off that mode and move into an appreciative mode, where you find the things that they actually do good, that starts building their respect, self-esteem as well, and they also start opening up and they become more open to what you're saying, and the love bids and connection bids are more responsive towards each other. And the next one that we move to is defensiveness. And this is typically a response to criticism. So we've all been defensive, and this is there in all relationships. And defensiveness normally comes up when we feel unjustly accused, and we fish for excuses and play the innocent victim so that a partner will back off. But however, that communicates to our partner that we don't understand them, we don't take their concerns seriously, and we don't take responsibility for our mistakes. So this makes the other person feel very unheard when we become defensive, and it feels like there's this gap between both the partners, and you're not able to get across to the other. So an example for defensiveness could be a wife asks the husband that, did you call up our friends and inform them that we will be coming late today as you had promised in the morning? And the husband says, oh, I was so busy during the day, I got no time, you should have known that, why didn't you call them? So did you notice how in this, rather than taking responsibility for something, husband converted it into an attack on the wife in that manner? So a better way of dealing with this, a better way to respond in such a situation by the husband would have been, oh, I am so sorry, I forgot to inform them. I should have actually known that I was going to have a busy day, and I should have told you this in the morning itself, that you call them. So that is a way better way of communicating. So the more and more when you start taking responsibility in the relationship rather than acting defensive all the time, you can actually grow from different situations. You can learn more about yourself. So when you start taking responsibility for mistakes or start being open to feedback, you actually start growing in a relationship. And the last one is stonewalling. So this is normally a response to contempt, and it occurs when the listener withdraws from the interaction, shuts down completely, and stops responding to their partner. So rather than confronting the issue with the partner, they stonewall. And they make all kind of evasive maneuvers such as tuning out, turning away, acting busy, or engaging in obsessive or destructive behaviors. It takes time for the negativity created by the first three horsemen to become overwhelming enough that stonewalling becomes an understandable out. But when it does, it frequently becomes a very bad habit which could be very annoying for the other person. And unfortunately, stonewalling isn't easy to stop. It is a result of feeling physiologically flooded. And when we stonewall, we may not be in a physiological state where we can discuss things rationally. If you feel that you're stonewalling in a relationship during conflicts, what you can do instead is just stop the discussion and ask the partner that I need some time to blow off the steam. I need to have some space. I need to be alone for maybe 20 minutes or 1 hour. Let's talk about this later, because right now I'm not in a state of mind to be able to hear you. So, take some time, go to separate rooms, or just don't talk for some time. And when you calm yourselves down, only then you can come back and use some of the better ways of communicating, like expressing, using I statements, using feelings and emotions to express what you felt rather than attacking or criticizing. So these 4 horsemen, you must watch out and use the antidotes to these 4 horsemen to create beautiful, happy relationships.